Nneoma, listen to me, she says firmly. The world is not kind to dreamers, especially dreamers with nothing in their hands. Dreams are dangerous. They'll only bring you pain. In the heart of the remote African village of Aduka, 12-year-old Nneoma stands out like a rare flower. While others are content with their lives, Nneoma harbours a burning desire that sets her apart. Her eyes, wide and shining with wonder, seem to see beyond the hills surrounding her village, beyond the small huts with thatched roofs, beyond the dusty paths trodden by the villagers for generations. But to dream big in Aduka is no simple thing. Nneoma's family is poor, her father works long hours in the fields, and her mother, worn out from caring for 5 children, barely has the strength to tell her children bedtime stories. One evening, Nneoma approaches her mother with her heart pounding in her chest. "Mama, I want to be a storyteller," she says, her voice trembling with excitement. Her mother looks up, her tired eyes filling with surprise. "A storyteller?" her mother asks, as if the word is foreign to her. She lets out a soft chuckle. "Nneoma, we need food, not stories. Stories don't fill bellies, my dear. Dreams are for those who don't have real worries." Her mother's words slice through Nneoma's heart like a sharp knife. "But, Mama," Nneoma pleads, her voice barely a whisper. "What if I could make something of myself? What if my stories could help us one day?" Her mother shakes her head, pressing her hands to her daughter's cheeks. "Nneoma, listen to me," she says firmly. "The world is not kind to dreamers, especially dreamers with nothing in their hands. Dreams are dangerous. They'll only bring you pain." Nneoma fights back tears as her mother walks away, but a tiny ember of hope stays lit in her chest. That night, as she lies awake on her mat, she whispers to herself, "I will become someone great. I will make Mama proud even if she doesn't believe me now." The next day, Nneoma decides to test her storytelling skills on the village children who play by the river. She gathers them, her heart pounding with nervous excitement, and begins to weave a tale about brave warriors and magical creatures. As she speaks, she feels something powerful within her, a strength she never knew she had. The children sit transfixed, their mouths open, their eyes wide. But from the shadows, a pair of disapproving eyes watch her closely. As the sun dips below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the village, Nneoma wanders to the river. She sits by its edge, dipping her toes into the cool, flowing water. Talking to the river has always brought her peace, like a secret friend that listens without judgment. Tonight, her heart feels heavy with her mother's harsh words, and she whispers to the river, "Do you think I'm foolish for wanting more?" A gentle breeze stirs, rustling the leaves around her. Then, to her surprise, a faint voice answers, so soft that it almost sounds like the wind itself. "Dreams are the seeds of greatness, child," it whispers, sending chills down her spine. Who are you?" Nneoma stammers, looking around in confusion. There is no one there, only the rippling water and the gentle sway of the reeds. She stares at the river, her heart racing. The voice seems to come from nowhere and everywhere all at once. "Follow your heart," it says again, "and don't let anyone silence your voice." Nneoma's heart swells with courage. She has no idea who or what is speaking to her, but the words fill her with a newfound strength. She decides right then and there that she will not let her dreams be buried. She will keep telling her stories, no matter what anyone says. She runs home, her heart lighter than it's been in days. The next morning, as Nneoma prepares to gather the children again, her friend Kelechi pulls her aside, a look of worry in his eyes. "Nneoma, you need to be careful," he warns. "The elders are talking about you. They say you're filling the children's heads with nonsense. They think it's dangerous." Nneoma feels a pang of fear, but she clenches her fists and lifts her chin defiantly. What harm is there in stories, Kelechi? I'm not doing anything wrong. Stories they're magic. They bring us together. They help us dream. Kelechi sighs, scratching his head. I don't know, Nneoma. Just be careful. You know how people are around here. Days pass and Nneoma's stories grow bolder, her audience larger. The village children gather every evening, sitting in a circle around her, their eyes wide with wonder. She tells tales of powerful warriors, wise queens, and mysterious spirits that live in the mountains. But as her popularity grows, so does the tension in the village. One evening, as Nneoma finishes a story, a shadow falls over her. She looks up to see Elder Chima, his face twisted in disapproval. The children scatter, frightened, leaving Nneoma alone with the elder. So, he says, his voice cold and stern, you think yourself a storyteller, do you? Nneoma's heart pounds, but she holds her ground. Yes, Elder Chima, she replies, trying to keep her voice steady. I believe stories are powerful. They can help us understand each other. Elder Chima's eyes narrow. Stories are dangerous when they fill young minds with ideas that do not fit our ways, he snaps. You are a girl, Nneoma. Your duty is to learn from your mother, to take care of a home one day, not to fill the children's heads with fantasies. Nneoma feels her cheeks flush with anger and frustration. But, Elder Chima, isn't it also our duty to think, to imagine, to learn? Stories are part of who we are. The elder's face hardens. You speak with too much boldness, child. You have already caused enough disruption. Cease your storytelling at once, or you will face the consequences. As Elder Chima walks away, Nneoma feels tears prick her eyes. She feels small, powerless, her dreams crushed beneath the weight of tradition. She runs to the river, her only refuge, and collapses by its banks, sobbing. Why must my dreams be wrong? She whispers, her voice choked with sorrow. And once again, the river answers, the same soft voice drifting through the air like a comforting breeze. Do not give up, Nneoma. Your path will be hard, but you were chosen for a reason. Trust your heart. Nneoma wipes her tears, the words filling her with hope once more. She stands up, clenching her fists. I won't give up. I'll keep telling my stories, no matter what. The next day, as Nneoma walks through the village with her head held high, she notices people murmuring, casting her wary glances. Word has spread quickly, and she can feel the weight of their disapproval. But as she walks past the market square, a familiar face appears beside her. It's Kelechi. Nneoma, are you all right? He asks, his voice filled with concern. She gives him a small, brave smile. I'm fine, Kelechi. I won't let them silence me. Kelechi nods, a glint of admiration in his eyes. You're stronger than anyone I know, Nneoma. But I worry. The elders, they're not just upset. They're afraid. They think you're bringing change, and change is dangerous to them. Change isn't dangerous, Kelechi. Fear is dangerous, Nneoma says, her voice steady. I want a world where girls like me can dream, where children can imagine something greater than just survival. Don't you? Kelechi stares at her for a long moment before nodding. Yes, Nneoma, I do. He looks around, lowering his voice. If you ever need help, if the elders get too harsh, come to me. I'll be there. Nneoma's heart warms. Having someone by her side, even just one person, makes her feel less alone. She takes his hand and gives it a gentle squeeze. Thank you, Kelechi. I'll keep your words close. But even with Kelechi's support, Nneoma knows that her battle is only beginning. The elders will not stop easily, and each day she defies them, she risks angering them further. Still, she walks away, her heart filled with determination. The voice of the river echoes in her mind. giving her strength. She knows her journey won't be easy, but she also knows she cannot turn back now. Nneoma glances at the sun setting over the hills, a reminder of her burning desire to illuminate the world with her stories. And as darkness falls, she vows to fight, no matter what the cost. Nneoma's resolve grows each day, but so does the tension in Oduka. The villagers cast sidelong glances her way, whispering as she walks by. Children she once played with are now kept away, and even her younger siblings look at her with a mix of awe and confusion. The only comfort she finds is in the quiet support of Kelechi and the gentle whispers of the river. One evening, as she sits by the river's edge, a voice breaks the silence behind her. "Do you really believe you can change things, Nneoma?" It's her older sister, Adama, who has always followed the village's traditions without question. Nneoma turns to face her, feeling a pang of unease. Adama's expression is one of deep worry, her brows furrowed, her lips pressed into a thin line. "Adama, I know it seems foolish, but don't you ever wish for more?" Nneoma asks, her voice trembling. Adama shakes her head, her expression softening into a mix of sadness and love. "Nneoma, life is already hard enough. Why make it harder by chasing dreams that will never come true? Our place is here, helping Mama, following the path that's laid out for us. I don't want to see you hurt." "But, Adama," Nneoma insists, her voice filled with quiet passion. "If everyone thought that way, no one would ever make a difference. We'd all stay in the same place forever, afraid to try, afraid to hope. I feel like there's something I need to do. It's like the river itself is guiding me." Adama sighs, reaching out to gently brush a tear from Nneoma's cheek. "Little sister, I worry that one day you'll be hurt so badly that no amount of dreams will heal you." She takes Nneoma's hands, holding them tightly. "But if this truly means that much to you, then promise me you'll be careful. Don't let your heart lead you into darkness." Nneoma nods, squeezing her sister's hands. "I promise, Adama, I'll be careful. But I can't ignore what I feel inside. It's like my heart is a drumbeat, calling me to something bigger." Adama gives her a long, searching look before pulling her into a warm embrace. "Then let the drumbeat lead you, Nneoma. Just remember, you have a family here who loves you." That night, as she lies on her mat, Nneoma feels the weight of her sister's words pressing on her. Doubt creeps into her mind, filling her with fear. What if Adama is right? What if her dreams lead only to pain and disappointment? But even as these thoughts swirl within her, the words of the river echo once again. Dreams are the seeds of greatness. "Nneoma!" Elder Chima's voice cuts through the air like a thunderclap. The children scatter, leaving Nneoma alone in front of the towering figure of the elder, his face darkened with anger. Beside him stands another elder, Mazi Anayo, whose expression is equally stern. Elder Chima's voice trembles with fury. "You have defied our warnings, Nneoma. You dare to continue spreading your foolish stories, filling our children's heads with nonsense. We will not allow this any longer." Nneoma's voice quivers, but she forces herself to stand tall. "I am not harming anyone, Elder Chima. I am only sharing stories that help us imagine, hope, and think beyond today." Mazi Anayo steps forward, his eyes cold and unyielding. "You are bringing chaos to our village, Nneoma. Your stories make the children restless, questioning the ways that have guided us for generations. You must stop, or there will be consequences." Nneoma feels her pulse quicken, fear seizing her. But she remembers the river's voice, the encouragement of Kelechi, the hug from Adama. She takes a deep breath and meets the elder's gaze. "I will not stop. I believe these stories are important. I believe they bring something good to our lives. Elder Chima's face contorts with anger. "You are stubborn, Nneoma, foolish. If you refuse to obey, we will have no choice but to cast you out." The words hit her like a slap. Cast out? She stares at Elder Chima, her heart pounding in her chest. But where would I go? Maisie Anayo's gaze remains hard. "If you cannot respect our ways, then you do not belong here. This is your final warning, Nneoma. Stop these tales, or prepare to leave Oduka forever." The elders turn and walk away, leaving Nneoma alone with a heart full of terror and defiance. She knows what they are asking is impossible. She cannot stop. The voice of the river, the strength in her stories, the dreams in her heart, they are all a part of her, but the cost of defying the elders may be more than she can bear. That night, Nneoma lies awake, wrestling with the decision she faces. Her family, her home, her village, everything she's ever known is here in Oduka. But her heart, her dreams, her very soul seem to belong somewhere else, somewhere she has yet to discover. The next morning, as the first rays of sunlight pierce through the thatched roof, she slips quietly out of the hut and heads to the river. She kneels by its banks, her heart heavy. "What do I do?" she whispers, her voice trembling with fear and sadness. "If I leave, I have nothing. But if I stay, I'll have to silence my heart." As if in response, the gentle voice of the river returns, softer than before, but filled with a quiet strength. "A journey begins with a single step, Nneoma. Your path may be lonely, but it is yours alone to walk." Nneoma takes a deep breath, letting the words settle in her heart. She knows what she must do, though the thought fills her with both terror and excitement. She gathers her courage and returns home, her mind made up. She will not give up on her dreams, even if it means leaving everything she knows behind. Later that day, as she packs her few belongings, her mother finds her. "Nneoma," she says softly, her voice filled with sorrow. "You're really going, aren't you?" Nneoma nods, her heart aching at the pain in her mother's eyes. "Mama, I have to follow my heart. I don't know where this path will lead me, but I know I have to try." Her mother pulls her into a tight embrace, her voice choked with tears. "My brave girl, go then, and may the spirits guide and protect you." As Nneoma steps out of the village, Kelechi appears at her side, his face etched with sadness. "Are you really leaving, Nneoma?" "Yes, Kelechi," she says, her voice barely a whisper. "I have to go. I need to find a place where my dreams can breathe, where my voice can be heard." Kelechi nods, his eyes filled with pride and sadness. "Then go, Nneoma, follow your heart, but remember, you will always have a home here in Oduka." With a final look at her village, Nneoma turns and walks away, her heart both heavy with loss and light with hope. She has no idea where the path will take her, but she knows she is not alone. The voice of the river, the support of her family, and the memory of Kelechi's friendship will be her guide. As she steps into the unknown, her heart drums with a fierce, unbreakable beat. She is ready to face whatever lies ahead, for she is Nneoma, the girl who dared to dream. Nneoma walks through the dense forest that stretches beyond Oduka, her feet sore, her legs aching, but her spirit unbreakable. The forest is alive with sounds, the chirping of birds, the rustling of leaves, the distant calls of animals. She clutches her small bundle of belongings close to her chest, her heart pounding with both excitement and fear. Each step she takes is one further from the only home she's ever known, yet she feels a strange freedom she's never felt before. As the sun dips low in the sky, casting long shadows across her path, Nneoma realizes she needs to find shelter before nightfall. She gathers branches and leaves to make a small resting place beneath a towering tree. Exhausted, she sits down, her mind racing with thoughts of her village, her family, and Kelechi's final, sad smile. She fights back tears, reminding herself that she left for a reason. Just as she begins to drift into sleep, she hears a noise, a rustling in the bushes nearby. Her eyes snap open, her heart thudding. She sits up, clutching a stick for protection. From the shadows, a figure steps forward. An old woman, bent with age, but with a gaze that's sharp and penetrating. "Who are you, child?" the woman asks, her voice like the crackling of dry leaves. "And why do you wander alone in this forest?" Nneoma, too startled to speak at first, finds her voice. "I am Nneoma from Oduka. I'm following my dreams. I want to become a storyteller, but my village did not understand." The old woman studies her in silence, then nods slowly. "Dreams are powerful things," she says, her voice laced with a mysterious wisdom. "They can lift us to the stars or crush us beneath their weight. But you have a fire in you, child, a fire that even your fears cannot extinguish." Nneoma feels a surge of pride, and she straightens her back, meeting the woman's gaze. "I won't give up," she says firmly. "I'll keep going, no matter how hard it gets." The woman smiles, a hint of sadness in her eyes. "Then you must be willing to face the darkness, for the path you have chosen is not an easy one." She reaches into the folds of her shawl and pulls out a small amulet carved from wood, shaped like a leaf. "Take this," she says, pressing it into Nneoma's hand. "It will protect you on your journey. But remember, child, true strength comes from within." Nneoma accepts the amulet, her heart pounding with gratitude. "Thank you," she whispers, clutching it tightly. She watches as the old woman disappears into the shadows, leaving her alone once more. Yet now, with the amulet in her hand and the old woman's words echoing in her mind, Nneoma feels a renewed sense of purpose. She closes her eyes, letting sleep wash over her, feeling the weight of her determination like a warm blanket around her. Days turn into weeks as Nneoma journeys through the forests, valleys, and small villages she encounters. Along the way, she tells stories to anyone who will listen. Children, travellers, merchants, and even animals when she finds herself alone. Her voice grows stronger, her tales more vivid, and soon her reputation begins to spread. One evening, as she's setting up camp in a clearing, she hears the sound of footsteps. She looks up to see a young man, perhaps a few years older than herself, standing at the edge of the clearing. He's tall and lean, with sharp eyes and a confident smile. He nods at her, his gaze curious. "Are you the storyteller people have been talking about?" he asks, his voice rich and smooth. Nneoma nods, wary but intrigued. "Yes, I am. And who are you?" He steps forward, bowing slightly. "I am Shima, a traveller. I have heard of a young girl who tells stories that can lift hearts and open minds. And I wanted to see for myself if it's true." Nneoma's heart swells with pride, but she keeps her voice calm. "I'm still learning," she says, "but I believe that stories can change the world, one person at a time." Shima raises an eyebrow, impressed. "That's a bold belief, Nneoma, and I like bold people." He sits down beside her, glancing at her campfire. "I'm also a storyteller. Maybe we can trade tales tonight." They spend the night swapping stories, each one more thrilling and imaginative than the last. Shima's tales are rich with humour and adventure, while Nneoma's are filled with wonder and wisdom. As the fire crackles and their voices echo through the forest, a friendship begins to form, built on a shared love for stories and dreams. As dawn approaches, Shima gives Nneoma a serious look. "There are many people who don't understand the power of stories, Nneoma. People who think that change is a threat, who will try to silence you. Be careful." Nneoma nods, remembering the elders and the struggles she left behind in Oduka. "I know, but I have to follow my heart no matter what." Chima smiles, a glint of admiration in his eyes. Then, perhaps we'll meet again, on another journey. With that, he rises, disappearing into the early morning mist. Nneoma watches him go, her heart filled with a strange mixture of hope and longing. She knows her journey is far from over, but now, with the memory of Chima's words and stories, she feels stronger than ever. A few days later, Nneoma arrives at a bustling village called Igando, where the annual Festival of Voices is about to begin. The village square is alive with music, laughter, and the scent of roasting maize. Performers and storytellers from all over the region gather here each year to share their tales, competing for the title of Master of the Word. Nneoma's heart races with excitement. She has heard of this festival in passing, but never dreamed she would see it in person. She watches in awe as storytellers take turns on the stage, their voices filling the air with tales of love, bravery, and sorrow. When a villager notices her wide-eyed fascination, he laughs and nudges her forward. "Why don't you tell a story, young one?" Nneoma hesitates, her heart pounding with both fear and excitement. Could she, a young girl from Aduka, stand before such a crowd and share her tales? But the voice of the river whispers in her mind, urging her forward. Clutching the amulet from the old woman, she steps onto the stage. As she begins to tell her story, a hush falls over the crowd. She weaves a tale of courage, of a young girl who defied the odds and followed her dreams despite the world's doubts. Her words flow like water, smooth and captivating, and the audience hangs onto every word. She feels a fire within her, growing brighter with each sentence. When she finishes, the crowd erupts in applause. Tears sting Nneoma's eyes as she steps down from the stage, overwhelmed by the warmth and appreciation. For the first time, she feels truly understood, truly valued. But as she basks in the afterglow of her performance, a familiar figure steps forward. It's Elder Chima, his face a mask of disapproval, his eyes filled with anger. "Nneoma," Elder Chima hisses, his voice low and fierce. "I thought you left Aduka to find peace, but here you are, spreading your dangerous stories, causing more disruption." Nneoma feels her hands tremble, but she refuses to look away. "I left Aduka because you wanted to silence me," she says, her voice steady. "But here, people listen. They understand the power of stories." Elder Chima's face darkens. "You are a child, Nneoma. You do not understand the consequences of your actions. Stories are not toys. They are weapons, and in the wrong hands, they can destroy." Nneoma takes a deep breath, feeling a surge of courage. "Maybe stories are weapons," she says, her voice unwavering. "But they are also bridges, connecting people and helping them see each other's hearts. You can't control what stories mean to people, Elder Chima, and I won't let you take my voice." For a long moment, they stand facing each other, an unspoken challenge hanging between them. Elder Chima's face softens, his gaze turning sad. "I only wanted to protect you, Nneoma. The world is not kind to those who defy it." Nneoma feels a pang of sadness, but she shakes her head. "The world may not be kind, but it needs people who are brave enough to speak. I can't go back, Elder Chima. My path lies ahead, not behind." With a sigh, Elder Chima steps back, his expression filled with a mixture of regret and resignation. "Then go, Nneoma, but remember, even the strongest dreams come with a price." As he disappears into the crowd, Nneoma feels a weight lift from her shoulders. She knows her journey is far from over, but she is ready to face whatever challenges come her way. Her voice, her heart, her dreams, they are her own, and she'll carry them forward with pride. With Elder Chima's words echoing in her mind, Nneoma takes a final look at the festival, the village, and the faces of the people who have listened to her stories. She knows she is leaving something precious behind, but she also knows she has found something even more valuable, the strength to be true to herself. As she walks away from Igando, her heart is filled with hope and a fierce determination. She may face many obstacles, and there may be times when she doubts herself, but she will not turn back. She is Nneoma, the girl who dared to dream big, the storyteller who will continue weaving tales until the whole world hears her voice. With the amulet around her neck and the spirit of the river guiding her, she steps into the unknown, her heart beating with the rhythm of her dreams. The path ahead is long, but she knows she is ready. She is Nneoma, and her story is just beginning. If you enjoyed Nneoma's journey and felt inspired by her courage, there's so much more in store for you. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single story. What do you think is next for Nneoma? What challenges and adventures might the future hold for her? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. There are so many more stories ahead, and Nneoma's journey is just beginning. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you're always the first to know when a new story drops. Let's continue exploring together. Subscribe now so you don't miss a moment of Nneoma's incredible journey.